into is into property and wealth creation. But obviously that all comes at a cost around balancing everything. So yeah, it's always important to look at new things or look at how you can improve yourself. We're always learning. It doesn't matter what field you're in. So that's really where I'm coming from.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, we've just live streamed this meeting onto my Facebook group, which is Juggling Health and Wealth. Believe it or not, the same name as my book. And this is my book. I'm sure quite a few of you have already got it. If you haven't, that's okay. I'm more than happy to send them an ebook to you as a gift. But if you want a physical book, you can order it in my website or just contact me and I can get it delivered to you. But otherwise, you know, I'm going to be running this regularly as a gift from me to the community, as a way also to connect with my friends, my business partners all around the world. You can see behind me, I've got a little banner, not a little one, it's quite a big one, where when I launched my book, which was 3 years ago now, I had that made with the ethos of my book. And you can't see the bottom, which is the back of my book, the 3 different points, which is to unlock your wealth, nurture your health, and find your flow or find your fit in the case of me doing TLS. So I won't go into too much details. And how many of you actually have a physical book with you right here? Yay, Joy has. Anyone else? Hi, Thomas, Jane, and Getsim, if you don't mind opening your video, I would love to see your face if you don't mind, but it's not absolutely necessary if you don't feel that you're wanting to, that's okay. But I personally love it when I interact with my friends on Zoom. Yay, it's Jane. Thank you, Jane. She was so good. Jane was like, I'm gonna read the first 10 pages before I get started. I say it's not absolutely necessary because I'm going to be going through it with you. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me. I'm still very looking forward to Vicky Lee, who is my huge mentor in the US, who is in the traffic, and she said that as soon as she gets home, she'll log on. But those of you who are here, I cherish and treasure every single one of you. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Joy, Etane, Anne, Heath, Jessica, Joyce, Jane, Thomas. Thomas is actually my my Zumba teacher. The reason why I'm feeling so energized is because I've been doing Zumba with Thomas. Thomas, can you show your face? He is Shall We Dance. He teaches me Zumba, Latin dance, and everything. So on Wednesday, I'm plugging you, Thomas. Are you there? Hey,
I'm here. I'm here. Look where I am now.
Are you in the gym?
I listen to you, of course.
Are you in the gym?
To you. I promise you that I will be there with you.
Thank you, my instructor. Thomas is my Zumba instructor. He is my partner in crime. Hopefully one day he'll be my TLS coach as well. Hey.
Yeah, we can do something together. Always helping, like you helping to everyone with your wellness. I always say that you work with people in a holistic way, because you always just you're not talking about the outside, talking about the inside as well. That is really important for everyone, because we need, like I said to you yesterday or the other day, we need to live with our body for our whole life. So we need to care for what's going on inside as well.
Yes.
So yeah, that is. And today, well, I promise you that I will be with you, because normally I do class, but we didn't start yet on Saturday. So I came to the gym and I'm looking at you. That's why I don't have video, but I'm listening. I listen to everyone.
Thank you, Thomas. Are you doing a Zumba class now or later? Because I wasn't aware.
No. I'm training myself.
You're training. Good on you.
Muscle.
Thank you, because you know, Thomas, I just want to say for those of you in Melbourne, he is restarting his. Hey, Vicky! Oh my goodness, Vicky. I was just saying to those of you in Melbourne, in Australia, Wednesday, Thomas has a studio in Coburg. and he has a studio for dancing and Zumba. It will be my very first time after 18 months of lockdown to actually physically go to his studio in Coburg to do Zumba live. So any of you who are in Melbourne, you're very welcome to join me to go together. It will be fun to do Zumba together, if you like, that is, of course. Vicky, so wonderful to see you. Hey? Anyway, well, let's get started.
Hi. Hi, Joyce.
Joyce, Vicky, and you know,
and look, oh my goodness. Good to see you guys.
See you.
It's only 5 o'clock over there in LA, yeah?
Traffic. I was rushing. Oh boy.
You're Russian. Yes, yes. Well, for those of you who don't know Vicky, you should know her. She is actually the leader of the person, Rick Hannon, who wrote the foreword of this book. Rick Hannon is truly my mentor, just like Auntie Anne's mentor. And obviously Auntie Anne is also my mentor. And Vicky Lee is also my mentor. I've got so many wonderful mentors. And when I published this book, I was praying to God, who should I invite to be writing my foreword? First person came to mind, Rick Hannon. Those of you who know him know that he passed away of cancer last year, 2 years ago now. And but his legacy lives on, just like our recent mentor, another mentor of mine, Dennis Franks. Those of you who know him know that he passed away 2 weekends ago. But the beauty of our life is we can, each of us, leave a legacy. And the reason I wrote my book, it wasn't because I wanted to be famous or anything. Since a young girl, I just give you a bit of a story. For those of you who know me know that I was born with a hole in my heart, which was a congenital heart defect. And so I wasn't able to do any form of exercise. I was never able to be like my brothers who were amazing athletically. Johnny was a champion in table tennis. Simon, you know, he is a marathon runner, sub-3. But for me, I wasn't even allowed to go to physical education classes until I had my surgery to mend my heart. I always jokingly say I had a broken heart, but I was mended, thank God. And I still have a scar here, but I feel I'm being healed and I have still got a long, long way to go. But that's why I felt this drawn calling from God to write this book. Because my dad, he was a very, very successful and wealthy businessman in Hong Kong, but he was not healthy. He was working about 80 to 100 hours every year, to a point that we didn't really have time, or my mom as well, with him, but he loved us a lot. He was very, very good in his business, financially wealthy, but he was not healthy. When I wrote this book, it was to do with honoring my dad. After he passed away, I felt I really want to share this message. What is a thriving business or very wealthy financially if you don't have health? Do you agree with me? Health to me, right, Vicky, is number one core value, because your first wealth is your health. If you don't have health, you can be billionaires. It's still not meaningful. And vice versa, though, we can have all the time, all the health in the world, but if we don't have financial resources, life can be quite difficult as well. So that's why, you know, I wrote how to keep all your balls in the air successfully. Not that I'm there, I'm nowhere near, but the resources that I've learned from being a student of psychology. I studied psychology at Melbourne University, and I studied coaching in health and nutrition. And I've learned a lot from being part of the unfranchised business with shop.com, Market Australia, Market America, worldwide, because of all these resources. And I felt called to be a writer. Hence, this book came to place 3 years ago. And this year, I've also had the opportunity from a publisher to write my second book. But those of you who know me, in fact, all of you would have know me that, because you're all invited by me, know that I went through a really rough patch earlier on this year, where up until 2 weekends ago, including Dennis Franks, I had 6 of my close friends, mentors, and dear ones passed away. 3 from cancer, 1 from COVID, 1 from brain aneurysm, and Dennis as well passed away recently of heart failure. And because of that, I went into a spiral, a dark time of depression. I felt I could not function because I was just so sad and upset about the death of my loved ones. But throughout the last 3 months, since end of August, with all the amazing resources that I've had the privilege and blessing of receiving, including many of my dear friends who have been praying for me, including, of course, some of the things that I've written in this book, including wonderful supplementations from my company, including a lot of resources like, emotional freedom techniques, which is called tapping, including healing, including so many support and love from all of you. In fact, those who knew me, who was going through that tough time, actually gave me a lot of support. I can say now I'm back on track. Still, I'm a work in progress, because I tell you, the last few days I've been crying my eyes out still when I was thinking about Dennis and some of my friends who passed away. But I know that the Lord has a plan for me, not only through this book, but through my life, as I call myself a wellness warrior. And that is to really help people reach their wellness and weight management goals. And so without further ado, for those of you who have my book, I'm going to be just really quickly go through the first 10 pages, which is the introduction and chapter 1. And I'm going to be having this ongoing once a month, 1 chapter at a time. So if you or your friends may not be able to make it, say, in any 1 chapter, that's okay. I have this recorded, but obviously I still love it if you can attend, because at the end of this, I will have a poll, which is a fun thing for you to actually answer questions, because at the end of every chapter, you would see I have a practical thing that I have, which is action step, because I don't want this to be only like a theory, but action step that we can take. So say if you turn to page 10, you would see those action steps. But what we will do then is to go through it at the end, where we'll do a poll, then we can encourage one another in the book club as a way to support. So it's not just me being the writer of the book, sharing or talking to you, but also I would love to learn from you as well. Just like Debbie said, she is actually a wealth creator through investment property. And like Auntie Ann, she is a millionaire. And obviously, Vicky Lee is our really top multi-millionaire earner in the US. In fact, every single one of us in Australia are in her organization under Rick Hannon, right? So we're so blessed to have you with us, Vicky. I think you've got a friend also who registered, but he's not here yet, Vicky.
Yeah, I'm trying to get hold of him, Bill, right? Bill?
You know what you can do? If you click next to participants, you can click invite, and if you click and send it to him. Your neighbor, is that your neighbor, right, Vicky?
Yes, my neighbor.
Yeah. Anyway, whoever, so before I get started, if you have friends and family that you would like to invite, it's not too late. What you can do, of course, you've got the link, or you can just click, you can see here below participants, you click that upward arrow. If you click invite, and copy invite link. Then you can copy and paste that and WhatsApp it, Messenger, send it to your friend, and they can join us as we go. All right, Dee. Thank you. All right. Hi, Con. Good to see you, my friend.
Hi, Kitty. Sorry, it's going to be one of my inspections. I'm going to be in and out.
No worries, no worries. Con is also another friend of mine who is a real estate agent and owner of a property company. Anyway, so let's get started. I'm so blessed to have each and every single one of you here. Very, very grateful. Very, very thankful. All right, so now, I'm not going to be going through each words of my book. I mean, the purpose of this is really to discuss and share. But, you know, if you haven't already read it, grab hold of one or an ebook, or, you know, just contact me. I will be able to send that to you. But what I've written in the beginning, and I want to reiterate that my dedication of this book, first of all, is to my God, because he loves me. He gave me amazing grace, divine guidance for all the blessings and favors. And I want to, secondly, honor this book, honor my dad through this book, who passed away when I was only a teenager. But his death, as well as his life, obviously, have taught me so much. And I still miss him every single day. It's been really more than 30 years. I was only a teenager when he died. Then my mom, she has given me so many great values, and amongst many others, and each and every single one of you. And of course, Rick Hannon, who wrote the foreword of my book, he is an unfranchised owner. He was an unfranchised owner. He was my coach. He was my mentor. He was a global successful networker and health advocate. And he was the one that introduced, in essence, every single one of us, unfranchised owner from shop.com, Market America Global in Australia. And in his foreword, he said that at that time that he wrote that foreword, we've known each other for quite a number of years already. After reading my book, he felt unlocking wealth in the context of my book is related to the parallel that exists between our holistic health and the material world. A lot of people, when they think about juggling health and wealth, health, you all know what it is, which will be what we'll be discussing, the 5 pillars or 5 dimensions of health. And if you can see me, I'm going to put myself into spotlight so you can see me clearer. Just give me 1 second. But if you're already on this call, you will most likely be able to see me quite well. Let me see, how do I do that? You can all see me anyway, can't you? Yep, then I don't need to spot myself. Yep, that's okay. There is a way though. Let me try. Here we are. Got it. Yeah, you can either go to your speaker view up the top. You know how on your view up the right hand side, you can click view speaker, then you'll see me clearly, or you can just still go through view gallery, then you can see everyone else. Okay, one way or the other, you will see me, and that's what I would like for you to in connection with me and one another. Now, the question that I would like to share, which is from Rick Hannon: do you want to take control of your wealth? The wealth that we're referring to is not just money, but different areas of life, and I'm going to unpack that. Health, to me, as I mentioned in the beginning, is wealth. Your first wealth is your health. So I always use an anchor action. The reason why I want you to see me, to look at me, is to look at this action, anchor. You know, when you think about an anchor, it's like this, right? It's up, down, and out, correct? Up, down, and out, which is an anchor. So when you think about anchor, you think about the 5 dimensions or 5 pillars of health. And that anchor was actually a vision given to me, and that is up above is spiritual health. When you look up to the Creator, spiritual. Then here is mental. Here, where your heart is emotional health. Then your body is physical health. And why anchor going outwards like that? Thomas, you would be proud of me when I say I do this a lot when I do Zumba, but really outward means social health. Because when we are reaching out to others, we are reaching out to our left and right, just like what we're doing, social health. So again, anchor, if you would like to do it with me, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and social. So these are the 5 pillars of health. I would love, if you don't remember anything I shared today, would be those 5 things. Okay, now I will, in the next 5 minutes, just go through real quick what each of those 5 things are, and then I'm going to go into a poll and ask you, each of you, what your preference are, right? I mean, obviously we all have different area of our health that would be most resourceful or neglecting. And I'll share mine very openly. And if you are happy to share, I would love to hear. All right, so first of all, the first part of the anchor is spiritual dimension of health. So if you turn to page 6 of the book, spiritual dimension is the well-being of your spirit. And so spiritual health really relates to your overall sense of purpose. Each of us is in this world for purpose, for why. Those of you, who are in marketamericashop.com, you would know every time we would share at the center of everything that we do is a why. If you don't have a why, then your life is not meaningful. And that is really connected to our spiritual well-being, or the well-being of your spirit. And also connection with, if you believe in God, then would be God, creator, universe, whatever you call it. To me personally, it's my connection with my creator God. Hence, when I do this anchor action, the first thing has to be number 1 is upward spiritual. And an important component of spiritual health is experiencing my own purpose. Even the reason why I am doing this book club is fulfilling my purpose, because I know that by being able to share my book and my ethos, my message, I'm able to fulfill, my purpose of a wellness warrior, to be able to help people reach their wellness and weight loss goals. So that's number 1. Relationship with God, spiritual life, purpose, passion, acknowledging you have a why. So I want to give you 10 seconds right here, right now, to think about what is your why, what is your purpose, why are you in this world, why are you created? Each of us right here on this Zoom, on the Facebook group, maybe you're watching a replay, or on YouTube later on when I'm going to be posting it. I'm talking to you. You have a purpose. You have a why. You may or may not know it right now, but you do have that. And that is from the bottom of my heart. I want you to find out what it is if you don't already know. If you know it, I urge you, just like I would encourage the same for myself, to live your purpose, live your passion, because that is when your life has the most meaning. So that's number 1, well-being of your spirit, spiritual health. Number 2 is mental health. Mental health is the well-being of your mind. It's to do with how tough you are mentally, your self-awareness. How are you related to other people? To me, mental health issues has been an area that I have been grappling with for the longest time. I've experienced depression. I've experienced anxiety. I've experienced stress like most of you would have. That's an area that I am still working very hard in learning. Then the third part is emotional health, which is the well-being of your soul or your heart. Emotional health is to do with how confident you are, the attitude that you have. For those of you who know about basic 5 fundamentals that we always talk about, the first basic of basic 5 is attitude, right? And knowledge as well. And if you have good knowledge, then most likely you have a good well-being of your emotional dimension of health. Things like self-esteem, things like ability to appreciate life, to give thanks, you know, to be grateful for what you have. And also to be able to emotionally have that awareness of, even though we may be, you know, going through difficult times, all of us right now know that we're in one of the most difficult times of all with the pandemic, with COVID-19. But a lot of you, just like I have experienced, a lot of deaths this year. I mean, someone told me, Kitty, this is really a year of death. So many people have passed away. I'm sure you know, not only those that you know, but those that are going through tough time with illnesses. Even in Melbourne, Australia, right here, we have 25 people who passed away of COVID last couple of days. Can you imagine the family and loved ones of those 25 people? And I obviously know, Vicky, where you are in the US is even more, right? COVID, a lot of people have passed away. But the point I'm trying to make in terms of the emotional well-being is, yes, we're going through tough times, no doubt about that. Those of you who know Dennis friends, I know you'll be like me, going through a very sad and upsetting time. I know Auntie Anne certainly is. And I'm sure Vicky too, yeah, Vicky, you know Dennis, I'm sure very, very well, more so than all of us, right? But the good thing is, if we have the emotional health, the well-being of our soul, we know that he's now in heaven. We know that we can leave his legacy. That is emotional health, and I need to remind myself of that. And then physical health is really my business because I love to help people reach their wellness physically and weight loss. Those of you who know me know that I'm a transition lifestyle system weight loss solution coach, as well as a certified licensed nutritionist. And I love helping people to reach their physical health. So physical health, what I've written in my book, you know, obviously contains quite a fair bit of things. Those of you who've attended a product symposium, you would have learned a lot about that. It's the bodily aspect, the physical aspect of our life. It's not just the absence of disease or illness. It's actually optimal health. Optimal health includes a lot of things. You have to have vitality. You have to have good energy. You will jump out of bed in the morning and not feeling exhausted all the time if you are optimally healthy. And physical health also includes things like healthy eating, fitness, having good support of nutritional scientific supplementation, sleep, handling, you know, stress and rest. And obviously, physical health is connected so much with all the other dimensions as well. Because if we have a decline in physical health, then we would have a decline in other forms of health, don't we? Yeah, because I know for a fact when I was, let's say, you know, going through a tough time with my physical health, if I have like a fever, say for example, or like COVID, I've got a couple of friends who've got COVID, they cannot feel happy. They don't feel, you know what I mean? Like so connected. Now, last but not least is an area where we are practicing right now, and that is social health. Social well-being of health is well-being of relationships. That's the anchor outside. Thomas, who is my Zumba teacher, is big on that. The reason why he gave free and very, very low cost Zumba dance is he wants to build a community of relationships to have the well-being of social. And I mean, for me, I've been doing Zumba with him once or twice, or sometimes even 3 times a week. And that's why I feel a lot more energized. I mean, you know, it's not just Zumba. We all, I mean, those of you who are my TLS students, you know that I always say 3 things, right? Cardiovascular, as well as, oh, see you, Auntie Anne. Sorry, I didn't, yeah, she has a lunch. And other areas as well. 3 areas in terms of physical health is, if you talk about exercise, is cardiovascular, your strength, body, resistance, exercise or weight training, as well as flexibility and stretching. But I'm not going to be talking anymore. I will leave it for you to read it from my book. But what I would like to do is to go through a poll, and then from the poll, then we can share more amongst ourselves and not just listening to me all the time. Okay, so here is my poll. Can you see that? So this is the first question. I'd like you all to participate with me. Which of the 5 dimensions or the 5 pillars of health are you most resourceful in? Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, or social? You can just answer the question, choose one. It's all confidential, so your answer will not be shared at all. So you can just rest assured that the answer that you give is mainly just to give me an idea who my audiences are facing or what they're most resourceful in. So out of all of you, I've got 72% who've answered the question. If you haven't, there are 3 of you who haven't answered yet. I would love for you to answer it. So which one out of the 5 dimensions of health are you most resourceful at? So I'm going to share the results. All right, it looks like 44% of you are most resourceful in spiritual health, and 11% is emotional health, 22% of each physical and social health. Looks like no one is the strongest in mental health, which is interesting. All right, so that's the first question. Thank you for sharing. Second question. Okay. This is the second poll, right? Which is at the end of page 10, find your real richest action steps of my book. Which dimension or pillar of health are you taking less care of or you're neglecting right now? Again, those 5 dimensions, I don't need to repeat them, do I? You would know them. I'll just have a sip of. I'll give you another 5 seconds. If you haven't already answered that, then we can share a little bit more. It's hard to pick one, I know, Heath, but just pick one that you feel you are neglecting or taking less care of. I know that perhaps, you know, we can have more than one answer, but I just want to sort of get a percentage. It's very interesting. Looks like it's quite even. All right. We have the top 33%, which I'm not surprised. Mental health is what we are taking less care of, and I would choose that to mental health. And then number 2 is everything else, which is spiritual health, physical health, and social health, 22% each, that you are neglecting. It looks like emotional health, no one chose that, which means that you are all taking care of your emotional health, which is very good. Yeah, it's weird that the one you know the most about is the one you neglect the most. It's true, Heath, you probably are right in that. I think I can relate to that too. All right, last poll of the day. Give yourself a score from 1. 1 means you're way out of balance, not doing that at all. Or 10, you are in full harmony, you're doing it so good, so well in your overall health. If you think about your overall health, which is all 5 dimensions, if you are totally way out of balance, then it will be a 1. If you think I am doing all 5 perfectly, then it will be a 10. So anything in between would be 2 to 6 to 7 to 8. So I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. Just choose one number that represents where you're at in terms of your overall health in those 5 pillars of spiritual, emotional, mental, social, and physical. All right, so let me end the poll and give you the answer. Okay, so 22% of you are number 3, 11% of you are number 4, and number 6, and there's quite a number of you that are number 7. Number 7 is quite a lot, and then the rest is 8, 9, 10. There's one person who claims they are number 10. Wow, who is that? I don't know, but I congratulate you. I really don't know because this is just a poll. I don't have the answer, but congratulate the person who has a number 10. I am a health coach. I wouldn't pick number 10. So whoever you are, congratulations. But last but not least, I'm just going to real quick go through the chat. Then I will close this book club by opening the mic to you all. Let me have a look. I just want to share what people have written here in the Zoom chat. Thank you everyone for being on. Oh, wow, Jane, you're from Mornington Peninsula. I didn't even know that you're far that way, at where the beach is, Jane. Thank you. And yeah, Elaine has the Kindle version of my book. Thank you. Audio book. Heath, you want the audio book? I know I'm going to organize that for you. I will read it chapter by chapter just for you, Heath. This is the next best thing, don't you think, Heath?
Yeah, at least if it's not a physical book, I'm more likely to read it, but I'm definitely more likely to read it.
I gave that book to you as your birthday present. Do you remember that?
No, you didn't.
I did. That was your birthday present. Anyway, but I will give you.
Try and find it.
You bought a Kindle version.
I bought the Kindle one. Yeah.
You did buy a Kindle version, but I'm gonna. that's funny. But let me have a look. Thank you, Elaine, for your kind words. Can your why change over the years, Joy? Yes, I believe so. I believe so, Joy. When I was a mission worker, I used to be, a mission worker, ministry worker. My why was always to focus on the spiritual component of health, sharing spiritual life, sharing gospel and stuff like that. That still pretty much is an important why for me. But right now, as a wellness warrior overall, I talk about these 5 dimensions, but in terms of my own why, is to do with wellness and weight loss. So yeah, it's for me personally, I've had my why change over time. And I'm sure, how about Vicky? I know that you are one so successful lady. Have your why been changed over time, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh yeah, it's been a long journey in Market America, 30 years almost. But
30 years. Did you say 30?
Yeah,
you started with JR almost the same time as JR.
Oh yeah, they opened right after 6 months later, I joined.
Okay.
1993 January.
So throughout those 30 years of being in Market America, did your why change, Vicky?
Oh yeah, there's because the situations change, and everybody around you then make you become sometimes like you say, emotionally there's a lot of changes, and spiritually definitely change a lot, and physically I did too, especially during pandemic, and you have nothing else to do, so you pay attention to your own health. And I think I have this past year until now, I have my blood report. I compare with past, much healthy. I have no medication, nothing. Everything's perfect. Yeah, because number one, you needed to eat right, sleep right, and take the supplement that's important too, right?
That's right. That's right. I know in LA you do a lot of TLS detox as well, don't you?
I try to get my friend, because I'm like a retired already, so I'm not like a.
You don't have to. You're a multi-billionaire. Financially free, time free.
Yeah, I enjoyed, everything. Like my parents, my father lived up to 99 years old. And my mom is now 100, going to be 101 next year. And they're all been using the product.
Isotonics, yes.
24 years, 26 years, my mom. So it is very beneficial, like a lot of change in the family too. Okay.
Yes.
I personally, there's a lot of transformation, and because the business, the physical, yes too. And I'm a business major. I never know about the vitamin before, because of business, I had to pay attention. So I become healthier. I lost this year, I lost 10 pounds.
Wow,
and,
nearly 6 kilos. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole pandemic, I lost 10 pounds. And I started learning when and how and what to eat. When and what and how. Those are important. When, you cannot just like me, with my better half, we both when we eat, we're like having competition before. Who eats the most?
You're a foodie. You're a foodie, Vicky. When I go to LA to visit you,
yes,
let's eat together. Or you come to Melbourne, I'll take you out.
We love to eat, but through TLS, you have to control yourself, discipline, when and what and how. Those
you look amazing. You look really, really amazing. And it must be because of all the products that you take, the health dimensions that you look after, right?
And with the business, you're always positive, right?
Positive people around.
You smile to people all the time, and then you become better and healthier person.
Vicky, amazing. I was watching Dennis Frank's a lot of his videos. One of them, he actually interviewed a lot of your best leaders to do trial size marketing. You weren't there, but then all your best leaders were there.
Yes.
And they were all so positive, just like you are. And I'm learning from Dennis, I'm learning from Rick, I'm learning from you, all these amazing, successful leaders who are all so humbled and down to earth.
Yeah, it is a good business. I mean, you can never deny, because we are holding each other, leverage everybody's different strength. Then we are going to the same direction, become a better and a more positive, a happier, healthier person.
Amen. Yeah,
I love it.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, right, Vicky was always praised by JR and Lauren because she was the one who translated everything into Chinese in the beginning. Those of you who didn't know, she was the very first successful Chinese leader all around globally. And she translated everything in Chinese. And now you have all sorts of Chinese materials, in Asia, Taiwan, Asia Pacific, which is where we're at. Obviously, Vicky is in LA, in the US, but they have in Flushing and many other areas, a lot of Chinese community. Without them, we won't be here in this business together, some of us here. Okay, so Heath said, thank you, Vicky. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Heath said, I completely agree. Heath, if you can share that, how you feel about throughout your entire being when you are or not living your why, or your emotional health is so integrally tied into your mental health. Tell us how you feel about that, Heath.
Well, it is something I've talked about a little bit on the Wellbeing Live that I do quite frequently on Friday nights, where your underlying thoughts can then trigger emotions,
yes.
Which will then lead to feelings and then actions and so on.
Yes.
And the feelings can also have a chemical component called a neuropeptide.
Yeah.
Which will then cause physical effects throughout your body. So we all know that if we're feeling nervous, we get the butterflies in the stomach. And if we, are angry, or threatened, we have our fight, flight, or freeze.
Cortisol, yeah.
Yeah, the cortisol. You have all these other chemicals flowing throughout your body. So you've got your mental, your thoughts, and a lot of thoughts live deep in your subconscious and in your unconscious.
That's right.
And a lot of cases are tied into values and beliefs and stuff like that. And quite often, the emotional responses to thoughts happen because of a judgment that's happening in response to some kind of stimulus. And quite often when you're feeling negative, you've judged something as bad, or you've judged something as good if you feel really good about something. You really get true emotional freedom if you can try to approach situations from a little bit neutral perspective.
Yes.
So you can actually, then look at your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because obviously all neural pathways can be redone. And yes, gratitude is so Deborah, yes. In fact, it's quite interesting that the first, I just recently attended I forget the name of the course I was doing, but the first step in being able to gain control over your emotional well-being was gratitude.
Gratitude, yes. Count your blessings.
Yeah,
Give thanks.
and being able to spend time, and it was amazing. There was an exercise that the instructor gave us, that being able, and to start the day with that gratitude just filled me with so much energy that it was better than coffee. It was absolutely amazing.
I can
just
feel it.
Feeling that gratitude, and of course knowing the neurochemicals that gratitude itself produces too. It's quite amazing.
Well said. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I have been really feeling grateful a lot more now.
The serotonin and the dopamine that is produced by feeling grateful.
That's right.
Is
happy hormones, serotonin. Yeah. That's
oh
right.
yes, yeah.
Thank you, Heath. So next, I'd like to invite my dear friend 𝗖𝘂𝘅, who is an amazing human being, and my sister, soul sister. And she wrote that, and I would like for you to elaborate that a little bit more, of how you felt about the 5 dimensions and how thoughts are powerful, and that you've been studying epigenetic, neuroscience. Just give us some of the things that you've been learning, please, 𝗖𝘂𝘅.
Yeah, hi. Can you guys hear me?
A bit louder, a bit soft, yeah.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah.
Better? Okay, maybe I'll move my mic a bit. So yeah, I was just, your book's amazing, Kitty. It's so much, it gives so much information about a lot of people who are getting into the field of understanding real health. And, it is not just physical, and the mental is important. And what he mentioned in his comment and what he just shared, really resonated on a lot of levels, because that's what I've been studying over the last 18 months, is about how important our thoughts are. And, our thoughts is affected by our environment. And, in the study of epigenetic now, by, widely shared by Dr. Bruce Lipton,
yeah.
How we feel, like the genetics are, we used to think it's fixed, that we can't do anything about it, right? But the environment can really affect our genes. And the environment of the cells come from our thoughts, because we are the observer of the thoughts, right? So it's so important to actually, understand that. For me, spiritual and mental is the most important and the basis of all things, because when you connect yourself to the higher dimension, like God, you have that ability to feel the love from the universe. And therefore it affects your thought, how you see things, how you want to react to a certain situations and stuff like that. So it is so important to really focus on that. And I find that when we can really hone into understanding the spiritual and the mental, or the thoughts, and we can understand having that consciousness and awareness about how we feel and think, and being able to direct that in a way we want to, can really just bring balance into everything else in our life.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's all like everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. We made of frequency. If you have a look in the atom in our body, you get 99.99% of energy in that, around the nucleus, right? So, we are made of energy. We're just vibrated because we're matter, we're vibrated in a different frequency than our thoughts. But our thoughts is the limitless substance that we have control. And a lot of people don't know how to control our thoughts, right? So that's why, I think your book is so amazing, because it gives people that understanding on, all right, I really have to focus on, if I really want to have better health or, physical or anything like that, what am I thinking? What am I thinking a lot of the time, right? Are we locked into some kind of a belief system that we've been conditioned to brought up in, and therefore we're doing things a certain way.
Yeah.
What can I then do to change it? And we have every single power to change it if you want to. We just have to be conscious of that.
Yes.
So
Well
yeah. So that's my
said.
2 cents.
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
perfect. I love it. And obviously, you are very much in tune with all of that. And I love what you said about Nikola Tesla, right? In fact, Derek, my husband, loves, wants to buy a
amazing person.
That's on our dream board, by the way. It's like 200,000 or something. Anyway, so, okay. So next, I think we only have a couple of minutes left. I just want to share some of, okay, Deborah said that life of gratitude, appreciate all those in your life, positive attitude, mental health, sharing with others. That's so true. That's so true because Debbie, I know you as a friend that is always posting positive, beautiful Facebook messages. And when I read your messages, I can't help but to be embraced with positive energy. So thank you for that. And so like Deborah talks about that, and it's so true. And many people have read my book, but she is the one lady that has been really advocating and helping share that area. So I'm just really feeling grateful and to have all of you here. And also, let me just